this issue of calling a dog a bad name in order to hang the dog, it does not work in politics. And I know so many Nigerians that are doctors, some of them are pilots, some of them are nurses, some of them are holding very sensitive offices, some are professors. And I have checked the statistics of Nigerians coming to Canada under international student program. The minimum each of them pay in every year in school here is $22,000 per year. I'm not talking about feeding, I'm not talking about transportation, I'm not talking about house rent, I'm talking about the payment to the university. So there are so many categories of Nigerians coming here. It's not an issue to, trying to attack one particular country, because the Geneva Convention of 1951 have defined who is a refugee and the criteria people need to make to become a refugee to get a protection. But whereby the country of protection is going to work with the country of persecution in advance, that shows the Nigerians coming here for political asylum will not get fair hearing, they will not get fair treatment, they're not gonna get the results they deserve because they are coming from a particular country. It's very shameful to the Nigerian government that the Minister of Citizenship and Immigration of Canada is proposing to go to Nigeria to address the issue of stopping U.S. government giving Nigerians visa to their destination. That shows the lack of adequate governance in Nigeria, whereby a country of protection, which is Canada, will believe the agent of persecution. So, which means the country that's supposed to give protection is extending hands, searching for advice of agent of persecution against the guidelines and the protocol of the Geneva Convention. And the worst part of it is that the Minister of Citizenship and Immigration is a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, who knows anything have to do with the Geneva Convention and the protocol. In Geneva Convention guidelines, in fact, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, that is a body supposed to take care of the oversight or the implementation of the Geneva Convention, it seems like this organization has been influenced by the national government. That makes them non-independent. Even the Amnesty International. Example, can you imagine 18 years ago or 20 years ago when the Minister of Immigration came to Canada? Can you imagine if he had been turned back or his refugee application was denied and he was deported back to Somalia to face persecution? Maybe by now it would have been something different. So why can't people be human when it comes to politics? This is $1 million question to answer. It pains me. My heart bleeds when I listened to this Minister of Citizenship and Immigration talking about people coming from Nigeria to seek political asylum in Canada. Not even, in fact, I've been doing research on my book. I found out that 2010, Canada lost their seat at the United Nations because, as a consequence of Canadian government closing their embassies in Africa and withdrawing the assistance, the aid they're supposed to give to some African country. So that consequence, as a consequence, they lost their seat in the United Nations. You know, and the conservative government go on and on and on to you know, disconnect the Canadian government from the United Nations. But after the 2015 election, when the Trudeau government came to power, he do all what he could to regularize the Canadian interest and the Canadian relationship to the United Nations. So, how come an immigration lawyer can, with the position he is holding at this moment,